Hi everyone, my name is Avram K. and you're watching Alfei Panim Parshas Toldos 2025. The Torah sets the stage for us by Yitzroitetzu Habanim Bekirba. The twins are fighting inside Rivka's womb. At first glance it's a strange image, babies wrestling, a mother in pain, and no really clear explanation. But this isn't just ancient drama. With a bit of listening and a hint from the Alshich, we find a familiar script that each of us follows every day. Before life gets real, everything is open and undecided. There's a low-level tension before every choice that we make, like the pause before a coin is tossed. The Torah doesn't hurry to resolve the struggle. Instead, it lets us sit with the discomfort just long enough to wonder what happens when you're torn between two futures. The Alshich makes the story personal. Yaakov and Esav aren't just historical figures, they're representations of the impulses that go to war inside each one of us. One side aims high, chases goodness, wants to grow. The other pulls us to comfort, quick fixes, and momentary wins. It's messy, it's familiar, it's life. No one walks a straight line. Our inner Yaakov and Esav keep trading places. Some mornings belong to discipline, some to distraction. The Torah, far from hiding the drama, declares that it's normal, that holiness starts not in perfection, but in showing up for the struggle. Growth isn't a clean ascent. It's the courage to be in conflict, to take part in the contention. When Rivka cries out in confusion and pain over the wrestling in her womb, she isn't just voicing a personal struggle. She stands at a crossroads that every person experiences. The meeting point between the soul's yearning for direction, meaning, or growth, and the very real resistance we feel from our own uncertainty, or fear, or old habits. Here is where the Torah and modern science start to echo each other. Rivka asks, Lama zeh anoichi? Why am I like this? Why do I have to have so much confusion and tension? As it turns out, this isn't just a question for mothers-to-be. It's the question every person faces whenever two paths tug in opposite directions. Scientists use the language of quantum physics, superposition. It means a particle, like an electron, can be in many possible states, sort of like being in multiple places until it's measured. Only then does it choose one reality. In everyday life, we experience moments just like that. Our next move is up in the air, nothing certain until we decide. Each act of free choice collapses a world of possibility into a single reality. The Torah calls this bechira chavshis, the freedom and responsibility to choose. Your awareness, your intention, is the measurement that sets your course. Mitzvahs become experiments in living. Each one is a test, each one a chance to steer reality, not just to witness it. And the Alshich, reading the Torah through spiritual psychology, sees this not just as destiny, but as identity formation. Who you are is shaped by how you handle the tension, by which possibilities you allow to become realities. Life isn't just math, it's living with options, some real, some imagined, until you choose. The Torah says every soul faces a version of this quantum quirk. Uncertainty is your companion. Choices collapse the future and reality waits for you to bring it into focus. But here comes the twist. In quantum physics, the experimenter can't be left out of the equation. The observer's action, just the act of looking or measuring, changes the story. In real life, just paying attention, daring to pause and reflect, changes the outcome. Torah elevates this every time it urges us to choose wisely, to weigh our actions before proceeding, and to recognize the messiness as the field of creation itself. The Sefer Arvei Nacha offers another twist. Time isn't just a straight line, it's more like an infinite pool of spiritual energy. Each minute, each Jewish holiday is a drop drawn out with purpose. Our struggle isn't just about marking hours, but filling them with what matters. The ordinary becomes the extraordinary through deliberation and bechira. When Yaakov and Esav battle, they're modeling how every moment can become infused with Kedusha or not, depending on who's drawing from the pool. This isn't a passive ride, it's active, intentional, participatory. And the Alshich reminds us that this ongoing fight is necessary, normal, even desirable. It's the field from which meaning is harvested. Why am I like this? Lama ze anochi isn't the end, it's the beginning. The Torah's optimism lies in the mess, not outside it. Quantum physics insists the future is open, not predestined. The Torah says sanctity lives in the effort, never in a guarantee. Creation is participatory. The soul is meant to encounter options, hesitate, wrestle, and finally to choose. The Torah is always inviting us to be part of the mix. The observer is not a spectator. The soul helps make reality real. Without your Bechira, the universe is unfinished. With it, something new is born each day. This call for participation is not reserved for grand moments, but for the tiny ones. Giving an honest answer, letting a friend go first, pausing before lashing out. Every test, every crossroads is where Kedusha sneaks in and possibility comes down to earth. How do we put this idea to practical use? First, don't rush to hide your doubt. The wrestling isn't a flaw, it's a feature. The Torah and Lahavdil, quantum science, agree. Uncertainty is not an obstacle to meaning. It's the field where meaning can be won. Each push and pull, each test of self-control or kindness is sacred. You don't beat yourself up for uncertainty, you build a life around it. Sameness is overrated. Walking the straight and narrow often means missing the dynamism, the chance to collapse possibility into bracha. The true laboratory isn't just the base medrash or the physics department. It's your own kitchen, your own office, friendships. In every little battle, every moment between impulse and intention, Kedusha is waiting. And those moments when the wrestling feels too much, the Torah helps us remember confusion is a sign of life, not failure. Real people make real choices, and sometimes the act of showing up is itself the most sacred step. Scientists exploring relativity noticed that time is not as rigid as we think. It can bend, blur, or even loop back on itself, depending on how fast things move or how they're affected by gravity. Some physicists talk about the block universe, where past, present, and future exist in one grand tapestry, different slices for different observers. This connects in an odd way to the Jewish idea that moments can be revisited and changed and even sanctified retroactively. Think tshuva and spiritual renewal. No moment is ever just gone. The soul's choices echo forward and backward in ways we may never fully grasp. Whether we're physicists, philosophers, or spiritual seekers, this makes every minute worth wrestling for. Both Torah and science remind us that time is flexible, not fixed. Redemption isn't about erasing the past, but transforming it. Every act of tshuva is an experiment in being makadesh time in ways the greatest physicists only dream about. Life would be boring if everything was figured out in advance. Both the Torah and Lahavdil, quantum science, treasure the gift of uncertainty. It's where growth happens, where creativity thrives. The soul is built for the unknown, unfolding a future that depends on acts of courage and curiosity. Pausing in the confusion, asking Rivka's question, opens new pathways. The world stays flexible until you act, and your choices set the tone for the next chapter. Don't shy away from questions. Embrace them as invitations to sanctify the mess. For the sensitive or the self-doubting, here's the bigger message. Uncertainty is the field of invention. Don't let the lack of answers keep you from showing up. Struggling, wrestling is the laboratory of faith, of emunah. Hesitation is part of the recipe. Parshas Toldos ends, but its energy continues everywhere. The struggle, the questions, the choices. These are the sacred engines of creation. Each day is a pool of potential. Each soul is called upon to choose and thereby make something beautiful out of endless possibility. No act of bechira is ever wasted. No moment ever irrelevant. Quantum mechanics and Torah agree reality is participatory, unfinished, and waiting for your attention. You don't have to get it perfect. Just get in the ring, wrestle, pause, and reflect, and choose. Bracha is built not from uncertainty, but from the struggle itself. May we all find courage to engage in life's daily contest. And may our many acts of conscious choice resonate with bracha, turning the uncertainty of superposition into kedusha, and making every struggle a headline of a life well lived. Have a wonderful Shabbos. My name is Avram K, and you're watching Alfei Panim.